Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So over the weekend, there was that Jake Paul, Nate Diaz fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very, very sad that I missed the main event because I fell asleep. But I was watching the stream in bed.
Did you get a pay-per-view?
No, but man, I found the best stolen Reddit stream I've ever been a part of. You went in to Twitch, and then you would put your screen name, then it would add you to a Discord. You opt into this Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're in the Discord, this guy had set up like hundreds of fake accounts, and he was streaming it in 4K. And when one would go down, it would just automatically switch to the next. It was amazing. Like, I don't know how I found it. I was really high. But I wandered my way in there, and I was watching it, and I thought they did a decent job with the undercard. The fights weren't good, but, you know, I mean, It was a fun watch.
So my fascination with all this is just looking at what it actually is.
The
right?
business aspect of it?
Yeah,
the vehicle that it is?
Well, so Jake Paul, obviously, he's been doing this for a while with these fights, and, you know, he's trained enough to be a decent boxer. Right?
It's a carnival comes to town, right?
Isn't
that what he's doing? He's like,
he came out on a tank.
Well, I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
like
That's pretty cool. I hate all of it,
There's
but when I saw
wrestling
him on the
involved.
tank, I'm like, oh, he got a tank.
You know, because the whole thing is, all right, how they pick or how Jake Paul picks his opponents. And
The ones he can beat.
But also, it's the ones that he knows will offer enough conversation, hype, and internet marketing that will get people to pay for the pay-per-view fight.
So instead of picking
right?
the champion, you have to pick somebody that can give you just enough of a fight. And you don't want anybody to obviously overshadow you, right? You always want to come in as the flashiest. You'll always want to come in as the S-talker, so to speak, right?
Yeah, but you want the fight to be interesting to people, so
you want to cast some doubt. If you don't cast doubt, why buy the pay-per-view?
And you want the people.
I didn't buy it anyway. But.
You also, I think he's well aware that he's coming in as the heel as a whole. Like,
it's called the problem child.
Well,
he's got his fans, I know, but I'm saying the worldwide. I think people want they want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right?
You're seeing this naturally happen within our BDM group. When he first started doing these fights, everybody hated him, right? Everybody's like, oh, F this guy, F the Pauls, yada, yada. Now you're naturally seeing people that I like, that are members of our BDM group, that say, like, hey, man, just saying, he's pretty good. You know, he puts a lot of time into it. He's doing his thing. It's just the natural progression of him building the character, right? But he doesn't need to be the best, ever.
But he also, that's
it's
not
not
even
about
the point.
being the best, right? But that's not the point.
And also, he is a decent boxer from, like, the amateur, obviously, but his technique he's been training for a long time. He's got the best trainers. He's got the most money, right?
Yeah.
So, but picking his opponent is important for people to start that conversation, and then he's really good at promoting it. And
he's an excellent mouthpiece. He's an excellent heel. He's got the superpower you and I were talking about yesterday. He doesn't care what people think about him. And as long as you don't care what people think about you, naturally, I mean, really care. I honestly believe he honestly doesn't. It's not in there. He doesn't care.
Also, I imagine he compartmentalizes the fact that there is a wrestling element of this, and look at
his brother.
The character he portrays is the character he wants to portray. It's a character, and I don't know how closely that is to his real personality or not, but it's wrestling. He knows how to promote himself.
Look at on a sidebar here, I actually think what Logan is doing in the WWE is far more impressive than what Jake is doing. That's just me, though. I think, like, if you look at Logan Paul and how he wrestles, I'm like, this guy should have been a wrestler from day one. He's an amazing athlete.
Well, also more steady money, bigger platform. Obviously, you know, like with these pay-per-view fights is one-off.
Whose is more dangerous? I got into an argument with Andrea about this. Whose job, Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Who's more dangerous?
Jake.
Really?
I would say, because
I would say no, because Logan is doing all those crazy moves where you could land on your neck. He's doing full flips. He's doing moonsaults.
Yeah, but you could train with all that. With boxing, I know you could train
but you
but
could always get hit once.
But you're also fighting.
Lights out.
You're also it's basically a fixed fight.
I will agree with that.
It's basically a fixed fight.
If it was real boxing, it would be more dangerous.
I think they're really trying.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, okay, so
I
then,
do think they're trying. I'm not saying they're not trying.
It's
I just
fu-
think what
it's-
Logan is doing is
it's
more
heavy-
dangerous and impressive to me than fighting at a middle
Yeah.
level. Like if you call it what it really is, right? Like if you and
Yeah.
I decided one day we wanted to start a and one basketball demonstration for people, right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it became very popular watching two fat dads play really bad basketball.
Yeah.
What is it then? It's nothing. It's closed circuit. It doesn't even matter because it's not about being the best. It's just the vehicle to make the money and tune in,
And then that's the whole business model
which is great. I have no problem with it.
find a guy that is a celebrity already and that knows how to fight or box at least some sort of, like, he didn't start off, like, obviously he started off with more amateurs and now he fought Tommy Fury, who's an actual boxer.
I
and stuff
told
like-
you, and I stand
But-
behind it. If he does Tyson, I'm having the party. I'll
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'll
Tyson's
buy
made
a
comments
bigger
about
TV.
it.
I'll buy a bigger TV
Yeah,
and
yeah.
take it back the next day.
I think
But,
we're going to get there. I think
I'll
we're going
buy
to get there.
it. Then expect a party, and I'm inviting everybody.
It'll just have to be if Tyson decides he needs to do that. But it could get there. It could get there.
Do it.
But it could be an easy thing for him to make. I mean, how much, if Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, how much pay-per-view revenue would that generate?
I can't even give you a number.
Can't
give you a number. Considering Barbie made $1 billion in 12 days, 10 days.
Would it be
can't
as
tell you.
high as the Mayweather
Higher.
McGregor fight?
Higher.
You think?
Higher.
Because
Yeah,
Mayweather.
because Tyson hasn't fought in how long?
But Tyson's a bigger name than
Yeah, yeah,
Mayweather.
yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
what. Tyson is for
Yeah.
Johnny Average. My mom knows
Oh,
who
yeah.
he
Mike
is
Tyson
the boxer.
He's
yes.
the boxer.
So
He's the GOAT.
I
He
mean,
is the GOAT.
if Tyson agreed to do it for 60% of the pay-per-view revenue, are you still talking like could this make over 100 million?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
mean,
so.
for 60 million, Tyson
I don't know what
made,
I'm talking about. Look, I'm not a business
'Cause-
guy, but I think it could be bigger than any other pay-per-view I can
Yeah.
even think of.
Yeah,
I bought the
think
Holyfield
we'll
fight.
see
Remember the
this.
bite? Remember the bite?
yeah, yeah.
I bought
yeah.
that fight.
Yeah.
It's the last pay-per-view I
But
think
that
I
was
bought.
real boxing.
But it was
yeah,
real
yeah.
boxing,
Anyway, but
Again, I do think it's unfair to not to. I think you do got to call this real boxing.
it is real. It's real, but
It's not
by
top tier boxing.
amateur. It's amateur boxing. It's because even Nate Diaz,
He's
a
not a
professional
boxer.
fighter, but
Yeah.
Although
again,
he said he trained boxing a lot.
I'm even going back on what I'm
Sure,
saying. I don't
but-
necessarily think it's a fixed fight, but if you get an unmotivated opponent in there who is
I will go on record and say that I do think it was a fixed fight.
okay.
Yeah. And
I
there's-
watched
fair.
the whole thing.
There's no regulation.
Well,
to
we
any of
have
it
some
because
videos.
it's
You guys
not-
want to watch these?
So in the fight, Nate Diaz, and this kind of leads to my question to ask you. So Nate Diaz was essentially effing around during the fight,
He
where
prefaced the fight by saying that it doesn't count even if he loses because Jake Paul can't really fight. So this to him is like, hey, it could be a fluke and he could beat me. It doesn't matter. I'm not a boxer. But
I like that.
But I'll fight him. And yeah, so he's already prefacing
I
it
like
with,
that he
I don't
said
really
that.
give a damn if I lose. It doesn't mean anything to me because I'm a real fighter. And in a real fight, Jake Paul would lose against me. He already prefaced that, right?
Okay.
So then yes, and literally every round he was doing this where he'd walk to like the side of the ring or the corner and have his arms down and be looking down and not actually facing his opponent, right?
Oh, he was acting
Yeah.
like he was almost knocked out there. Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yes, he was doing
like,
stuff where he would fake like
"Oh."
he was hurt, and then he
Yeah.
would come at him.
but he
That doesn't help Jake.
he-
That does not help Jake.
it doesn't. So
He's punking him out.
he's-
No,
Yeah.
no. What I
He's-
think it does is it shows to
he's
everybody
goofing
that
around.
your whole vehicle
take it
is
serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
not a good thing. I would have
But
been.
that's weird to me.
Don't do that. If I were Jake, I would have told him afterwards. I'd be like, "What the hell are you doing? You trying to kill our entire business?"
Yeah, because
You idiot.
Okay, so
Because we're hucksters. We're old school.
Yes,
circus comes to town.
I assume, and they may be because Nate Diaz, I apparently from other interviews, like he just he f's around. He doesn't take anything serious, and he's just
real
like
dumb.
yeah,
looking.
he's just like
I mean that with love. I mean that.
Listen, he
I would
punches.
tell him
Yeah.
that to his
He
face.
wrestles, he punches. Like,
He's
he's
the
not
nicest.
paid to think.
No, he is not.
A1 dodo fighter,
Yeah, real dumb.
But-
real dumb.
But so I assumed that when they were planning this from the very beginning, they sat down in a closed door meeting and they were like, "Hey, I want to do this. Are you down to do this? This is what we have to do. I'll promote I need you to do these A, B, and C show up to these events for promotion.
Yeah.
Maybe put your own
Talk
social
some
media.
crap,
Yeah. And like
fake choke out the Logan Paul lookalike,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
banter back to you with a video that I'll release on Tuesday.
and this will be a projected X payday. Which, by the way, Sam, did you see how much they actually made?
I did,
Okay.
yeah.
What
So
was their payday?
it says
Because by the way, Nate Diaz is
Paul reportedly brought home an estimated $2 million from the fight, while Diaz is believed to have won a guaranteed $500,000.
okay, not that much.
Not as much as I thought.
But $500,000 for Nate Diaz when he probably like. How much did he really have to train for this or whatever?
I don't
you
think
know,
he
like,
did. I honestly,
I mean,
I wanted to come in like prepared for you guys, so I wouldn't know how to talk about this. And I went on some MMA forums of people that know what they're talking about. And most of the guys that were in the MMA forums were saying things like, "He doesn't look like he took it seriously at all. Doesn't look like he trained at all. I don't think he trained. He look at his belly. He doesn't looks out of shape." Like they were saying, and so I gathered all that. I'm like, I don't think this guy took it seriously at all, unless that was the bit.
But I understand like not training because you didn't have to, but to make a mockery while you're fighting is weird.
You're hurting your payday because more people would opt in if you sold it better. Is that what you're saying?
Or the whole idea was to sell this as it being a real serious fight for both of them. So why not sell it like that? It may be just because he's an idiot. He doesn't care or
Okay,
whatever.
there are
Well, I
some-
think he knows he's not a strong boxer, so that's why
Yeah.
he went into it like, hey, this doesn't mean nothing to me. Like, you know what I mean?
But
I'm
it's
an
his
MMA
last
guy. I'll
payday.
do this and collect $500.
Exactly.
But he's
Yeah.
not- but
I'll
he's
do this. I'll spar with him for 10 rounds.
But he's not
And
fighting again, right? Like MMA?
He's a free agent. He can.
But I think his career is
Yeah,
over, right?
I think he's done.
Like I don't think he's fighting.
I don't know if he retired,
anymore.
but I
don't think
he's-
anybody's asking him to fight in the, especially UFC. I
No.
think that time
He's
has
too
passed.
old.
Yeah,
He's too old. Yeah.
So it's weird
He has
how
been
he handled
officially
it.
removed from the UFC roster.
Okay. It just when I saw the highlights
And
of
he
it, 'cause
will negotiate future fights, it says.
I didn't pay for it. I did bet on it, and this is a betting tip for these type of fights. Every fight that Jake Paul fights in from the future, I've made money twice by just betting that it'll go the distance.
Because it's a show.
And yeah, because
Yeah.
That's like betting on whether or not the movie will make it to the end.
no, they want to knock out, but it's hard to knock someone out,
Well,
especially people that know.
I don't think they want a knockout.
Because
I
the
don't. I
opponent
think
does
if they did, Jake Paul would have knocked him out.
Well, because the opponent has to agree to, like, it's almost like taking a dive. It's like giving the strap, right? It's like when Andre the Giant, he has to tell you, like, I'm going to give it to Hogan tonight. I mean, they are doing a version of that. They're just putting in more work, and it's less truly planned. They got an outline. There's no script, but they got an outline.
That's what I believe, yes.
And
okay.
So
I like that, too.
his past.
And you're going to go the distance because you get more sponsorships that way,
Well,
more commercials,
You don't,
whatever, all
you don't
that.
want that quick of a knockout because Nate Diaz is still a big name. You want his face out there. You
course.
want your champion to spar with the face.
Well, and also the people that paid for the live event, you don't want it to last 30 seconds. You want it to last the whole
Correct.
round. So
And
it's
it was
more
$59. I went and checked it out before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot. 59 for that? Woo.
Yeah, and like
That's the price of a video game that you keep forever.
And by the mid rounds, they both are tired. Like especially because
Boxing
Jake
is hard.
Paul, it's hard. So
Yeah. It's a rough sport.
it even gets harder to knock someone out in the later rounds because you're not punching as hard and you're not as fast.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Nate does say that he hits really hard. I mean, he gives him that. Other than that, it looked as if we all tuned in. We watched it. Now, here's the thing. If you tune in and watch it and you enjoy it, I have no problem with that
So do you-
whatsoever. Stop your griping. Everybody complains about everything.
Yeah, it was just entertainment. But who is his next opponent that would make people care?
People are saying McGregor.
Yeah,
Well,
Conor
he's
McGregor.
calling them out, and I saw that. It's just that people would pay for that.
Yeah.
Is that a weird matchup? How big? Like, McGregor's a little guy,
He's
isn't
short,
he?
yeah.
Yes, that's the
I mean, that's a
problem.
weird
Yeah,
thing. Boxing is a lot about
5'9".
reach and a lot about height. And
it's size. So,
yeah, just size and just being able to dominate your opponent and position yourself correctly.
So
and
if that fight happened,
I'd buy
first,
that. I'd probably buy that.
I'd bet it'd go to the distance first.
Yeah,
you know,
go the
because
distance. You think Conor McGregor is going to say agree to a
To get knocked out,
No,
KO'd in
I
like
don't-
the
I
first
can,
round.
I can never see that happening.
and I don't think Conor McGregor probably if Jake Paul has decent boxing defense, he's not going to leave himself open hoping to get knocked out.
How's his chin? Do we know that?
Well, he's also bigger.
He's got a big old chin.
He does have a big
I
old
mean,
chin.
he's got a punchable face where it looks like he's never going to get damaged because he's got a big old head and a big old chin.
And
He's made for getting punched.
I love his floppy little hair. His hair grows from the center of his head, and he
And that
pushes it
beard is
forward.
thick, so it
Wait,
helps.
you know, like that's a thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that guy, he wants your husband's hair, Jake Paul. He would kill for it. But his hair starts from the center of his head like a doll. You know, they sew it in China. They sew it in the center, and they push it forward. And he has to push it forward. Watch how many times during a video. It's a fun kind of a drinking game to play. If you're watching Jake Paul on YouTube, watch how often he'll take his 5 fingers and push his hair forward for fear that it's gonna Trump flop up and go woo 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 in the air.
Just get you have unlimited
You got
money.
that money.
Saying,
Get
dude,
the surgery.
you just got done with this fight. You have more money than you've ever had. Just go get it done, and by the time your next fight, it'll all be there.
Yeah.
Like the really good hair transplants, you can't even tell, and they're great. Look with Steve Carell.
Steve Carell's is amazing.
A lot of people in Hollywood. To continue on with social media influencers, I want to talk about that Mr. Beast video.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about Lizzo's banana.
No, okay, we can talk about
It
that. But
stinks.
But the Mr. Beast video, apparently his last one. It's funny because I saw my boys watching this. It broke like some internet records, right? With like
The headline that I read was something like, Mr. Beast's latest video is most viewed video in world ever of all time universe. It was something like that.
So I watched the video, and what's super interesting to me, and I guess it's just the ease of clicking and watching it is so easy that, of course, it's got like maybe people wouldn't be drawn to this if it wasn't fingertip. Like if you didn't have it on your phone.
Look at his rosy little cheeks. Jimmy is so cute.
But it's not that interesting. Like it's him.
None of
floating
his videos have been interesting, Tom. I've been telling you this for years.
But it's like he's floating in a raft. There's a boat, like a safety boat, that's just a little, it's further away, but he's not in immediate danger or anything, right?
I want to see what kind of porno Mr. Beast watches. I want to see him switch his haircut up once.
And again,
I want to see what are your bathroom habits, Jimmy?
But
what do you do on the toilet?
But the
front to back or back to front?
The content isn't that interesting. The characters, his friends in the videos, aren't that charismatic. They aren't that funny.
People say this about us.
I was gonna say that's subjective, man.
It is subjective, but but this video is the most watched video of all time.
Of all time. So it should
most
be.
Most views in 24 hours on a non-music video.
So it should be the greatest video of all time.
But I guess that just shows that people clicked and watched. The content doesn't even matter.
No.
It's just the content could be garbage.
You're talking about
weird.
Jake Paul again.
Yeah.
The content has never mattered, guys. It only matters if we're watching the content. The content, the message, what they're saying doesn't matter. Are there eyes on it? Are we there?
Yeah. Because that's where the
is
marketing
it a distraction to us? Yeah, that's all that matters.
Because he's just selling the advertising on the clicks, and
he needs to. I'm just gonna give him a piece of advice from a fat dad that is way poorer than him. You gotta you gotta stop doing the like $1 jet, $1 million jet, $1 hotel, $1 million hotel.
He doesn't have that many ideas.
Most expensive refrigerator, cheapest and worst refrigerator.
Or just like us, we do the same thing.
I know. Weird Job Wednesday.
Well, there's not that many ideas.
I got a new idea. I had an idea. I want a can, and this is gonna hurt Sam's heart because she has us all booked up for Weird Jobs. But I want to do Weird Rob Wednesday.
Oh God.
Where you have to be a Rob, and we have you come in, and then at the end of the year, 52 weeks, we end up having a battle of the Robs, and we pick one Rob, and he's our Rob. So and then we kill the bit forever.
The super interesting part of the Mr. Beast thing is, so the actual videos.
I don't have kids and I don't watch Mr. Beast. Are parents upset that his friend came out as trans? Because I've seen.
Some are.
You see stuff online, and I don't know if what's, real in context,
some are, but it doesn't come
or if
up.
they're trolling.
It never comes up.
Okay.
And Jimmy's really supportive of his friend, I don't know the character's name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's a non-issue with them. They don't even address it, and people balk about it, but it's normally just
my kids won't be watching this now.
Yeah, it's just conservative trolls and stuff. He still gets as many views as he ever has.
Obviously, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Hasn't heard of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
But
it's a nothing.
What's interesting to me is, all right, and I know it's subjective, and I guess I could ask my sons, like, was this awesome because they watched this thing? Like, was this super entertaining to you? They don't really know, those dumb kids. But so is the content being lackluster and his characters being lackluster? Because they're pretty boring. It's like, you know,
They're normal. Don't say boring. I think normal.
But they're not really that charismatic or funny or
and
like
you could even make an
witty
argument.
but again, it's subjective.
I would make an argument that the craziest one on there, just based on life adventure, would be the one who's now transitioning into a woman.
Right.
But it's just they're all kind of vanilla.
You're
boring.
right. I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
But
they're boring guys.
Never watched.
Will that affect him eventually? Like, will people just be like, I've seen all this before, I'm moving on? Or will... Like,
they are rooting for him.
Is he plateauing?
He is plateauing. He's got to be. Everything plateaus. Even Mr. Beast.
But he just hit, like, when I thought this was over for... Like, I didn't think it was over.
But is that him or is that the platform?
I don't know.
Are we more into getting any type of lights into our eyes the way that YouTube is providing for us, or are we doing it because of him? I would say that YouTube and what happens within social media is more important to us than even him. So we have become more, we're more ready to receive our messages in Mr. Beast's form. So of course the numbers are going up. We use YouTube a lot more this year. We'll use it every year more until...
and it just shows up on your feed and you click on it.
Correct.
It's easy.
That's what I'm saying.
But
in a really poor way.
But then, like, remember when I asked about Glozell? We had Glozell.
Yeah.
She was a social media influencer in here, and her YouTube views drastically went down.
A lot of them do.
And then because
you step away from it,
and you only have a handful of things you do and you're known for, and then you hit some viral videos, and then all of a sudden, like, people are like, been there, done that.
Yeah, but Mr. Beast is now more of a brand than anything.
Yeah, he's bigger than that.
It's not just a personality anymore.
Yeah, his videos almost don't even matter now. Like, his videos, I think the reason why this video
There's
worked...
so much stuff in the grocery store that's Mr. Beast.
Yeah, that's why this video is beating the records. It's beating the records because he's got D's Nuts chocolate bars and all this garbage out everywhere, and you see it. So, of course, when it's in your feed, it's familiar, and you click it.
And then you click, So,
yeah.
Will the fact that the content isn't really...
he'll move on, like
super entertaining. It's weird that he hasn't gotten celebrity comedians or anybody on his team that is
I
more...
like that.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah,
He's
is that
just
what
doing
people
his
like?
friends.
I say,
Yeah.
this is where we
Is that why
Dude,
it works?
This is
Yes,
where we
because
Because
disagree.
he could hire the best.
Look at any if anybody here knows any teens, right? We're treading a line here, but like
I know
Jessica's
teens.
son, right? All of them, they post all their TikToks, and it's just them hyping each other up. That's it.
What is hyping each other up?
Just like dancing together, or showing off their trucks together, or doing some and it's all of them in the they're just all doing stuff within themselves. There's not.
Do the
it's
teens
all
know?
about
One of my favorite
promoting your friends' brands, your friend's clothing company, your friend's photography company.
One of my
you know.
favorite-
So they like the fact that it's just him and his
It's like
friends.
peers,
and there's
yeah.
no... Because he could get Josh Wolf or like some...
No, you don't want Josh Wolf.
No.
He wants his gang of people.
And Josh Wolf
Who
too
is
old
Bob?
for his
I
audience.
know. Well, who's that young,
Matt
good-looking...
Rife.
Rife. He can
Too
get
old. Still too old.
He can get Rife on the raft with him, and he could be telling
Rife
jokes
on a raft.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Neither one of them need that either, though.
Yeah, that's not the type of content he's doing either, because the comedians are going to make it about them. Too
Yes.
egotistical.
Yeah.
They'll never do that.
And then it'll be some kind of promo for like their tour or
Too
whatever.
blue, no, he does clean. Relatively clean. About
Goofy.
These Nuts is about as far as you get.
Yeah.
You get a scrotum joke. And
I don't
that's
mind.
About it.
That's the thing. I don't mind my sons watching his content because
neither.
it's super vanilla.
Now, I'm
and
glad
it's-
Maisie doesn't like him, but that's just me hitting
But
the lottery.
there's
again.
nothing that I'm worried that's going to be said or done in his content. In fact, it's so...
And he seems like a good person, and he
It's so
seems like
vanilla.
he's
I'm
kind
like,
to
oh,
his friends.
Yeah,
You know, he's
bunch of
supportive.
nerds.
He
Yeah,
is a
they are a
nerd,
bunch of
yeah.
nerds, and they're
Yeah.
all
But
supportive
it's
of each
fine.
other. Yeah, it's fine.
And they're
It's harmless.
positive.
And I think that is why a lot of people do like him, because he isn't. They're just normal nerds,
root
and
for
they
him.
made it.
You know
they
what-
made it,
And you know what's...
and they
No, I
didn't
don't-
have any help from like Hollywood.
Not
or-
only did they
Okay.
make it, they're the top.
killing it. They're
the
slaying.
top.
You know, okay, you may have stumbled upon something because look what...
I didn't stumble.
Okay, reality TV.
I ain't drunk.
Right.
I walked right through it.
So reality TV throughout the years, from its inception, right?
Yeah.
What has it done? it's gotten more and more drama into it, right? Because
it's crazy.
Well, now it's not real anymore. Yeah.
the producers, like, Real World started off boring, like just showing people.
I
boring at the
disagree.
time.
I loved it.
No,
Well,
it wasn't boring at the time. No, this is
compared to
alcoholism,
now,
dude. This is your pleasure level.
Yeah.
We have gotten so high with our fabricated reality that it's not even real anymore. So we don't even enjoy it.
So throughout the years of like, and that's a direct result of corporations, running the content and then it being about the dollar and then more and more views. So the more and more times that the one dude ate the other dude's peanut butter and they got an argument, like the one argument in Real World 1, right? Puck.
Yeah.
And that got the biggest ratings. So
Or
they're
David, he was assaulted somebody. They kicked him out of the house.
and they're like,
He was a comedian.
we need more of
Still
that.
is,
So
totally.
then they just started like more fights, more, and then eventually it got to the every episode.
If you go back, because they're now on, I believe it's Paramount Plus. They've had like the first couple seasons reunions, like 20 years later, right, or 25 years later, or whatever it is. And they'll go back and show you some of those old clips. There were real legitimate issues and fights that they had that I think a lot
people
forgot about.
Heavy
Racial
ones.
issues,
Yeah,
gay issues,
lesbian
got real,
issues,
yeah.
sexual assaults.
Yeah,
like,
which was good though because
Well, that was the beginning when it was real.
Yeah.
And then it just
well, that's what I'm
turned
saying.
into,
It was dramatic.
Yeah.
Now there's drama, but it's like, you effed my boyfriend. It's like so surface level drama that who cares?
Or we know it's fabricated. We
Right.
know that whatever. We know the producers cooked that
egging
up.
it on and whatever. But in Mr. Beast videos and some of those other YouTubers that my
Because you
sons watch,
crave
there's
authenticity.
But there's no drama. They stay away from it.
Yeah.
Like they don't fight amongst each other. They
No.
don't talk ass about each other. It's like very positive.
it's an
very,
easy watch, man.
Very easy watch. And I wonder if that's the pendulum. Like people are tired of the constant drama.
I
and
mean,
just
dude,
wanted
look at
nothing.
Look at the internet. It's all negative
It's all
and drama.
negative, yeah.
Like,
And I think that's
it's
another
nice
reason
to watch
why-
something that's just even keeled
Yeah,
and
Yeah, I'm not
chill.
a Mr. Beast guy, but maybe that's one of the reasons why I enjoy QVC. Like when you go in and you watch that, you're not getting inundated with a message and then somebody snarking the message. Like like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of it is message, snark the message. Message, snark the message. And look, I am a professional snark the message. I've done it for almost 30 years. But even me at 47, you get to a point where you're just like, you know what, man? I don't want to be negative about everything. I don't want to have to poke holes in that. I don't want to have to mock that. You get tired of it.
Even the game show aspect of what he does, he never really has a true loser that lost it all. Like who wants to be a millionaire? Is like, you want to risk it all, or stop right now?
Yeah,
you know,
got nothing.
And then when you left it with zero, like you could have had 500,000, you left with zero.
And what would people on the internet do? Mock you and say you're an idiot.
Well, but also we used to be like, oh my God. And now with Mr. Beast, I watch this with my sons, and when someone loses, he's like, all right, here's $10,000 anyway.
It's okay, buddy.
Like he'll give them a briefcase full of $10,000. So it's like, oh, okay, well.
Which is the opposite of what Daddy teaches them. Daddy teaches
It's
when you
all or nothing.
lose,
Yeah.
you're a loser, pigman snoozer.
Yeah. So, which is also a weird thing where people like the fact that everybody wins at the end, or like there's
I don't
not really
like
drama.
that part. That part I don't
Well, that's
like.
what us, because we're old.
I
but
don't want him to dance on the guy's grave if he lost, and I'm okay with you giving him like a couple of D's Nuts chocolate bars and a Mr. Beast hat. You know, like get a little something for your time.
Consolation
or
prize.
we flew you out here, so you get $1,000. I'm cool with that, but I don't think you should get anywhere near what the grand prize was.
And the only reason I'm saying this is the market is telling you, the numbers are telling you this is what people want.
Right.
Because look at the proof is in the clicks. Like they're watching it.
So we got to figure out a way to make EJ win.
Well, the thing is, like, this is just a broad cast net audience. You know, they're trying to get the most amount of people. I don't know if I'm sure they have like a bunch of hardcore engaged followers, but at his level, it's insane.
Does he have a name for his Beastos?
Beasties? I don't know.
Can you subscribe to something
Beastos.
and pay him monthly for some sort of something?
I don't
Does he
know.
have that revenue
I really
source?
don't know anything other than the YouTube videos, and then he's suing the hamburger place because they screwed up all his
And now
hamburgers.
they're countersuing him.
Why?
I don't know, but they're countersuing him
Good.
for $100 million.
Oh, good. Get him. No, I don't know. I just, whatever.
Well,
The Beast Gang. Oh, no, that's his actual crew.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's an actual name for the fans. But there is a
Beastos.
Reddit thread of what people would like them them.
Okay, give us some of those.
Let's see. I think Mr. Beast should call his fans with a nickname or something like PewDiePie calls his fans.
What does PewDiePie call his fans?
He calls fans Beast Gang Paulers. I don't think that's true. There's not much on that thread.
It's weird because
It should be Beastos, right?
Yeah, Beastos is great.
you have this guy that has the biggest audience on the internet,
Yeah.
right? And he lives outside the realm of celebrity and
I don't know.
Hollywood.
I honestly don't know what he does. What his normal.
You never see him like in the tabloids with any other celebrities or anything.
No.
He stays low, man.
He's
Smart.
I don't think he drinks. I don't think he does any drugs.
Yeah, I think he's just super smart on the spectrum.
But would I
business
like
guy
it if
that-
I found out one day that behind the scenes, Mr. Beast is all on the
freak.
ecstasy,
Yeah.
he's mushrooms crazy, he's tripping.
Because that's what we think we're like,
He
he can't just
experimented.
be.
He slept with his trans friend just to experience it.
It just seems like he's a super driven businessman, right?
From what I'm told,
and
the
he
boring
just-
part is he's just obsessed with YouTube and like he only thinks about making better videos.
And the business and making more money, and then he's not really even using the vast wealth that he's made because I think he lives a rather subtle.
Does anybody know what his house looks like?
low-key life?
You want him to live in a Mike Busey style mansion with like fire poles and
No,
slides
I don't think he's
and,
anything like
and
that.
a train. I'm just saying what I want. I want him to ride like a train into his room.
I think I heard him on like the Rogan interviews, like talk about how he only he still has like a regular car. He's not driving a Lambo. And
I want him to drive a Lambo. I feel like.
living this
a little.
extravagant
I want a
lifestyle.
little something. Give me a little something.
I'm sure he
How about a
pays himself
Jaguar?
a salary that he puts away, or like he's not going to ever be hurting for money, obviously. But it looks like he gives a lot of it away, and that's part of his whole thing is giving the money away, and that's part of his
I think,
entire
but he
content.
writes it off.
Are there adults?
Oh, the business, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah.
Are there adults?
I mean, that's just business expense.
that are obsessed with Mr. Beast too, or is it?
I think Tom is.
mostly. A
No,
kid thing?
I just see it because my sons watch it, and I'm fascinated by it because
Right.
it's a new. I mean, obviously, we all know about influencers and what they are and how they make money at this point, but it's so bizarre.
Does he
that
always
this guy
do-
lives this lifestyle and makes this amount of money and is this relevant and essentially not relevant, right? Because he's not a A-list celebrity that hangs out with other celebrities. It's just like him and his friends effing around making these videos, and he's got more views
How old is he?
than anybody.
Does he ever shift? I mean,
He's like in 30s.
What
25.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. Well,
damn.
what percentage of his content do you think is mostly made for children? And when does he change that? When does he pivot to something a little more adult? Because I don't know if you can go your entire
once you start
career-
getting older, you're still going to be.
I don't think you can be my age. You can't be 50. Like, I'm 47. I don't think you can be a 47-year-old Mr. Beast still out there on the raft with your friends, like, oh, got to build a shelter, guys. I don't think that's a thing.
He's essentially kind of doing what Survivor, this whole raft
It's
thing.
very
was
kid to me, though. When I look
is
at it, I
kid.
go,
You turn
this is
into
like,
Colleen Ballinger when you're in your 30s and you're still doing quote unquote kid content.
no,
right?
but I think that's weird, right? Unless you're
Yeah.
like a clown or a puppeteer.
No, well,
If you're Jim Henson, it's cool, I guess.
there's plenty.
Or what was the lady from Lamb Chop? Cheryl.
Sherry. Oh,
No, I don't remember.
Sherry Lewis.
I mean,
There it is.
there's superstar musicians that most of their audience are teens. You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
Taylor Swift, most of our
No,
audience.
most of our audience are in their 30s. That's a
Are
common
they?
misconception.
Oh, well, so someone like
Look at all the Swifty videos. It's all
Yeah,
women
yeah.
my age.
yeah, they all look like Andrea.
Yeah.
Jumping around.
But there are, artists that have a huge younger following, right? Teen following. Most
Sure, pop stars and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're used to it. So I think you can continue.
Yes, but their music isn't technically geared towards that.
It is.
Their fans might listen to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean their content is geared towards children.
Yeah, like Blackpink.
But-
Maisie loves the K-pop band Blackpink, and
Will he transition to any
they started cursing.
other kind of material.
I
don't
think he
know.
will. I think he will.
But
He's only been doing
but
it since
his
2017.
but his material's not blippy because it's just like
Right.
no, it's not baby stuff.
I'll show you $1 hotel and a $10 million hotel a night, and that's like it's interesting. That's almost geared towards adults because what do kids care about?
But that one's easy. Like when he
But-
said, "I'll show you $1 hotel and $1 million hotel," I was like, I get it.
But he,
You know, like that's lame to me. I'm like, I get it.
But
Yeah, of
that-
course. If I paid $1 million, it better be better than $1 hotel.
But that's not necessarily just for young kids. Like
No, I would agree with you, but I think just based on name alone, I think there is a stigma that's unspeakable that everybody knows. When you say Mr. Beast,
That's
it's
another
kid
one.
content.
Yeah.
What?
Unspeakables and just another Mr. Beast.
Oh,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
But Mr. Beast it's like when you say Mr. Beast, everybody goes, "Oh yeah, the logo, it's kid content." You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think Mr. Beast? Oh, he did a good documentary on the
Right.
thing.
I only know kids that watch it.
It's
I don't
kid
know
stuff.
adults
it's like
that
Dude
watch
Perfect.
it.
Dude Perfect is kid stuff.
Yeah. Although there
Like
are
America's
adults
Got
that
Talent.
watch-
I hate to say it. America's Got Talent.
yes, yeah.
Kid stuff. It's kid stuff.
But he's 25, so if you think about it, it's like 25 and younger, like 10 years, like from 15 to 35,
Right.
maybe his demographic.
no, I know, but like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he'll pivot. I think
Yeah.
he'll have to pivot a little bit.
into more adult. Yeah, seeing what happens to these people as they go on is going to be fascinating to me. Like, where is Mr. Beast in 10 years from now?
Something tragic will
You know,
happen.
I mean,
Well, it's kind of like if
what
you
does
look
it
at the transition
to?
of like the Vine characters, right? There used to be like that's where even Colleen started, and Doja Cat's boyfriend, I forgot. Like now he's a Twitch streamer, right? And he also does stand-up comedy. Like
Sure.
they'll transition into something else that's kind of in the same vein.
Or he just like because he's
Or if he's smart, he retires.
he's
know what I'm
more of a
surprised-
businessman
Go
than
out
he
on
is
top.
an entertainer.
There's
Yeah.
one thing he
Yeah.
hasn't.
Maybe he'll stop doing the entertainment and just run the companies.
Yeah. I bet he'll probably just go into running all.
He's
this,
already doing that. He's already
you know,
branching out. And
media empire.
He has different channels that run themselves with different hosts.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think I always thought he should make maybe not a theme park because I know that sounds insane, but an experience of some sort. Like I always thought in North Carolina somewhere he should have something.
Beastland or something.
Yeah, something for people to go to that they can go to that's freestanding that he can put some
They can
money
do little
into
challenges
to keep
or
it nice
something.
and make it like it's a place that's always going to be there. That way, even if you do pivot, you still have something that immortalizes those years you were the king of it all, you know?
But the brick and mortar business, it's like
bad.
there's lawsuits involved.
And you
It's
waste
like
money like crazy.
employees
Fixing things
yeah.
all the time.
Just create content that's fun for you and your friends that you can monetize for millions of dollars. You know, he is a genius when it comes to marketing and also marketing sales. And I've seen him read his live reads and what he does in how he incorporates it into his content.
Yeah.
And it's like all these companies are paying him insane amounts of money.
It's well done.
And then his merch and stuff like that, he knows what he's doing. And then even with the Mr. Beast burger and then his Mr. Beast bars, like the bars in the water, what the Paul brothers are doing with Prime.
They're called
like that's
Feastables, sir.
That's how
Feastables.
50 Cent made all his money in vitamin water.
Yeah.
You make all your money. You come out with a drink or a bar that's in every 7-Eleven.
Well, let's come out with a
Walmart.
drink. We'll
Well,
just
we're
do it
too small.
locally.
We had
just
beers.
locally.
Yeah.
No, I want to do a fitness drink.
Well, we got to be fit for
Tom
that.
and Dan. No,
Not
it's-
big enough.
it's-
You need the distribution worldwide in every 7-Eleven.
This guy won't even play anymore. When I say
No,
that,
no, just say
when I
that.
say he's like, it's an impossible. We can't do it. We're too small. I'm
You
like,
idiot.
I'm sorry. I'm doing a show and wanted to riff with you for a second.
Well, it's impossible.
He's all about business, Dan.
What would
Who gives a damn about the show?
Yeah, what would our drinks be like? What would they taste like? What would you want? Or did you flush your imagination down the toilet?
Well,
You never know.
you just want caffeine, anything that's addictive. That's what
Okay.
you have to start with.
I got to stop with the caffeine, man. It's making me too crazy.
Well, no, you got to sell the people what they're addicted to. So caffeine. If you can somehow infuse some sort of
Testosterone.
CBD
The
or something
only,
in there.
Pain
the
pills.
only drink
Some
with
opiates.
testosterone in it. Real testosterone.
Well, you segment your audience. You want something everybody likes. Like
Estrogen too. We'll do
a pa-
estrogen.
well, you want to paint. Taking estrogen doesn't really help you in any way
No.
if you're a woman. which is
I heard it made your labia longer. But
That's not necessarily true,
no,
depending
if
on the
you
person.
if you need, I'm just saying, like,
he's saying if you just take extra, it's not gonna like make your muscles bigger. It's
Yeah.
not like when
Well,
guys
no,
take
yeah, no.
testosterone.
like as a man, you can if you take testosterone, even if you
No,
have
we
a
got a
lot
crack.
of it, you take a testosterone. It's always going to benefit you in some way. There's nothing like that for women, which sucks.
Yeah, everything about being a woman sucks.
Yeah,
dude.
it's a lot
That's
harder.
how-
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
We got a
lot
crack
harder.
in the front.
Yeah. There's no
Blood.
There's
My
no
God.
Don't yell blood.
and there's no miracle like
Babies,
drug you
ugh.
can take that makes you better, like we have with testosterone.
Menopause.
Yeah. Like there's only
Assault.
bad.
Rape. My God, help. Help.
What's the good part? What's the
Tell
good part?
me.
I don't
The
know.
miracle of life. You can make babies.
I
Which
don't
is
want
really-
that.
It was just really cool. What was the one thing you had?
I don't want
I'm
it.
sorry.
That is, like, well, I'll never be able to experience making another human life,
No.
which I am kind of
Well,
jealous of.
that's not true. We can with science. We're like, boop, boop, and the next thing
Test
you know,
tube
I
baby.
grow it up. They'll have an at-home
No.
kit pretty soon. I'll be cooking it in my microwave.
Yeah, but if it's not inside your body, I want
I want it
my
outside my
making
body. I want it outside my body. I don't want to.
Gross.
I don't.
No, but your body making it is like, well, look, I'm a super.
No. I don't want it in my belly. I'd like to choose where you graft it on me. Graft it on my side. Graft it on my butt.
Ooh, big booty.
So I got a
big
big
booty,
old
baby,
booty,
but
and
then you
they're
can't
like-
sit on it.
They're like, I won't. That's I'll stand.
You gotta lay on your side or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, I'll lay on my belly.
All right, check out our new energy drink coming out soon.
What are we calling it?
It's
Tom. Somebody called it Tom and Dan. Wait, what did they call it?
Juice?
Somebody had one. They had a name in here.
could we come out with one?
T&D
that-
rocket fuel?
A mediocre lime.
Can we
with
put
Tom
kratom
and
in
Dan.
it that makes you a little high, like a pain pill?
Hey,
'Cause
remember-
people get addicted to that.
Remember when we first started doing kratom, when we would mix it with the water and then drink it down?
Yeah.
That's our lowest point.
Well, that was what we
Because
didn't
there were
realize
these green cups that looked like we lived in a trap house, laying everywhere. These green cups with
Don't
spoons
talk
hanging
about
out of them.
Oh, don't. I feel like that was
Back medicine.
my fault. All right. We will see you tomorrow.
Oh my God! All right, that's Tuesday.
Yep. Are we doing it anymore?
No, that's good.
All right, let me get an intro then. Tonight we talked to Desmond Clark, and we talked about Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, and Mr. Beast.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your day, guys. I guess we're pretty much done. We're gonna go do intros and clerical work and stuff, and we'll